This is page 361 of Mehera-Meher. And it's a lovely picture of Baba and Mehera. More pictures of Baba and Mehera with Nadja in the doorway. Oh, there she is in the upper two pictures. Chapter 144, Pleasing Mehera. In earlier years, when the women's ashram was expanded and Easterners and Westerners were living together, Mehera had been withdrawn and uninvolved with any interactions among the others. It was a different phase of her life with Meher Baba then. Later on, Meheru said, we felt Baba wanted Mehera to become involved in things, wanted her to speak out and express herself, as though preparing her for the time when he would not be physically present. Therefore, as time went on, Mehera asserted herself more and took a greater part in household matters, especially when the women came to stay at Meherazad. Mehera's nature became very warm-hearted and generous, as well as sensitive. If she became impatient with someone and spoke out, immediately afterwards she felt contrite about it. Baba always told her not to worry about this, as he knew how much the pressure on him during the time of his universal work affected Mehera. In the later years, Meheru continued, Baba was extremely frail in health, and the burden of his work was enormous. Maya was doing her utmost to make things more difficult, and Mehera, being Baba's most tender and vulnerable point, was often her target. When Baba was doing his work in seclusion, the pressure on him was always greater. Because of Mehera's closeness to Baba, it was important that she remain in a good mood. But we noticed that at such times, one thing or another would affect her and disturb her mood. We felt that Maya, rather than the incident, was the cause. When Mehera got upset over something small, Baba told the women Mandali, I know what is happening. It is not in her hands. He once said, Mehera feels what I feel. And while he, being Baba, could bear that heavy burden of work, Mehera, being sensitive, would be very deeply affected by it. The women Mandali, who wanted only to please Baba and Mehera, understood that it was all part of his working and the interference of Maya. So we tried our best to see that Mehera was not disturbed or upset, which Baba never wanted her to be, but it sometimes would happen despite our efforts. Baba didn't want Mehera to be in any way upset, Alu explained. He did not wish her to suffer physically or mentally in any way. It was connected with his work, so his work could go smoothly. That is why he stressed that everyone should try to please her. You are upsetting my universal work by displeasing Mehera, he would say. Her heart and Baba's heart are the same, so don't disturb her. Please her as far as possible, in the same way as you would please me. Sheila had another theory as to why Mehera sometimes became angry over seemingly insignificant matters. Mehera had to have that anger in order to balance out her sanskaras. Otherwise, there was no need for her to get so angry with people. She didn't like it when people argued with her, for example. Mehera had such good sanskaras in this life. Perhaps it was necessary for her to have these quote unquote faults to balance out her good sanskaras so that she would not have to take birth again. If Mehera reprimanded any of the women for something, Baba sat quietly and listened. He took her side always, no matter who was really at fault. Baba once explained, Mehera's love for me is so great that I have to bow to it. If I told her to take out her soul right now in front of me, she would drop her body instantly. That is the difference between her and you all. You all would give it a thought. You would hesitate. She won't even think about it. She would die at that moment at my feet and be happy to do so. As noted elsewhere, there were times when each of the men and women Mandali felt frustrated by the demands of living with the avatar and would temporarily lose control. Mehera was the exception. Unlike everyone else in the ashram, Mehera never felt upset with Baba. Not once did she ever say a cross word to Baba. The author once asked her, Did you ever feel angry with Baba? She replied, What a question! Baba is so loving that no occasion was there to feel angry with him. We kept house for him. Baba's hip was not well, so we tried to make him comfortable, to do his bidding, love and serve him. Meheru often found herself in the awkward position of being caught between Baba and Mehera. Meheru related, For my part, I was often in the difficult position of having to please Baba and Mehera at one and the same time, an impossible position. I now realize when both liked the opposite thing and both wanted to please the other one simultaneously. In Meherazad, I was in this position almost daily after 1956, when I had to make an instantaneous decision and quickly read the scales right. For example, Mehera loved the cool breeze and draft blowing, whereas Baba was sensitive to it. When Baba was away at the men Mandali's side, the windows of his room were always open. But the moment he came to our side, I had to decide whether to shut his windows or keep them open. It was a balancing act to try to do the right thing. If the windows were open and Baba felt the draft, Mehera would scold me for not being attentive to Baba's needs. Baba didn't like breezes. He liked it warm, but not warm enough to perspire. If the windows were shut and Mehera felt the need of fresh air, Baba would reprimand me for not thinking of Mehera. So it seemed to me that whatever I did, I could never win. Mehera was fastidious about cleanliness concerning Baba's things. Mehera was a perfectionist, Meheru continued, and in her love for Baba, she served him with complete attention to detail, doing everything with grace and love. That is what she wanted from me, not just zeal and energy, but care and gentleness. Whenever I did any work, especially Baba's, she taught me to take real care of how I handled everything of Baba's. Side note says Meheru on cleanliness. Mayorana Messenger 1998. Mehera always exhorted Naja too to be vigilant about hygiene in the kitchen because she was cooking for Baba. For example, Naja wore a scarf over her head so that loose hair would not fall into the food. And she wore one over her mouth and nose sometimes as well. Mehera herself washed her hands 50 times a day. After Baba dropped his body, even if Mehera was sitting with pilgrims on the veranda, she got up to wash her hands after killing a mosquito because she remembered Baba's orders to do so always. She admonished everyone. After brushing your hair, go and wash your hands. If you pet the dog, wash your hands. On and on, said Meheru. She might repeat the same instruction to us a number of times, but it showed her desire to work perfectly for Baba, and we accepted this, even when we felt it wasn't necessary. In many such instances, we saw how present Baba was for her and how continuously she remembered him. Mehera was so particular about cleanliness that Mani often teased. You should have been my mother's daughter, and I should have been Dowlat Mai's daughter. I had to go through so much with my mother, to always be clean, to wash all the time. It drove me crazy. And now you've taken her place. Mehera laughingly agreed that Shireen Mai was fanatically conscious about cleanliness, more so than either herself or Baba, who was also particular about it. Of course, Mani and the others tried to please Mehera in this regard when they could. If something like a blouse fell on the ground, and if Mehera was there, Mani picked it up and washed it. She confessed that if Mehera had not been there to see the blouse fall, then Mani simply shook it and put it back. Once, however, Mehera caught her. At Guru Prasad one evening, Mehera became terribly upset with Mani, and Baba called them to his bedroom. He instructed Bao to remain outside, and through the door, Bao heard Mehera badly scolding Mani, who began weeping. But when Baba told Mani to give Erich a message, Bao was amazed to see Mani smiling when she emerged from Baba's room. I knew she had been weeping 5 minutes before, but one couldn't discern it from her face. Mani dried her tears so naturally that one could not recognize that internally she was unhappy. When Mani went back inside, the fight resumed. Again, she started weeping. A few days later, Baba castigated Bao so severely that he was in tears. But unlike Mani, Bao was unable to disguise his state, and others knew he was hiding something. Bao concluded, "It is so difficult to forget things and look cheerful all the time, as Baba wanted. But Mani did it." Mehera was so appreciative of Baba's beauty that another thing that bothered her were drawings, paintings, or statues of Baba that did not do him justice. Yet, even if Mehera did not like certain pictures, she felt she had to deal with them fittingly. She did not simply want to throw them away or burn them, as they contained Baba's image, no matter how poorly done. As the years went by, the growing collection of amateur artwork became a problem. So she asked Baba one day whether she could put the art in the lake or send it to the ocean to be immersed in the water where it would dissolve. Baba said she could. The side note says once Mehera mentioned that, with Baba's permission, she had buried some of the art in the garden. Rano, too, never threw out or tore up a picture of Baba she had drawn. If she was not satisfied with her efforts, she burned it to get rid of it. Even if Rano erased a drawing of Baba and could not reuse the paper, she burned it. Once someone sent a small head study of Baba to Guru Prasad, and Baba asked Mehera what she thought of it. Mehera did not approve of the sculpture. "Baba, you are so beautiful," she answered. "This doesn't look like you at all." Baba told Mani to write to the person that he appreciated the person's efforts, but the sculpture needed more work. One such gift of artwork from a Baba lover was the cause of a rare reprimand for Mani. "Baba very rarely ever scolded me," she related. "Once, though, someone had sent a painting that was awful. Baba called me in and told me that Mehera liked this painting and that he would call me and I was to agree with Mehera. Later he called me, winked, and said, 'Isn't it a good painting?' 'Yes,' I said, picking up on Baba's wink. I said my lines fine, saying it was a very good painting, knowing he wanted to please Mehera. After doing my part, I relaxed. Then Rano was called. She didn't know anything. She came in and Baba asked her if she liked the painting. She said no, this was wrong and that was wrong. Finally, she mentioned the eyes. I piped in. "Yes, Baba, the eyes are a bit off." Instead of keeping to my part of agreeing with Mehera that it was a good painting, Baba turned to me and gave me a look like, you couldn't do just this one thing for me?" For days I regretted my mistake, Why did I relax and not stick to my part? Mani concluded, all this was so we wouldn't have that pride that we never did anything to upset Baba. In the beginning, Baba almost never took me to task and, in fact, commented that I was a model for others. Gradually, he pressed harder. It was like in waves. At the beginning, good. In between, he would get you. When I was depressed or in a mood, Baba would say to tell a joke. It was no joke to smile and tell a joke with feeling. Likewise, towards the end, it was difficult to smile and joke when Baba's suffering increased. We were all more obedient. Meheru and Khorshad were always the scapegoats for things. Meheru would drop something, and Baba would say, never do that again, and get so upset with her. Again, it would happen. Once, I was trying to smooth things over and said, but Baba, she is so tired. That's why she dropped it. Oh, Baba said, you're taking her side and not mine. Everything was forgotten about Meheru, and now it was me who was on the hot seat. Even now, Meheru will be blamed for something by Mehera. Sometimes it's not her fault, and she'll turn to me for support. I tell her, Meheru, it's your lookout. I'm always going to take Mehera's side, no matter who's at fault. There were some people, according to Mehera, who Baba enjoyed teasing, such as Goher, Nergiz Kotwal, and Rhoda Dubash. For example, once Baba had Goher get out of the car on some pretext and then told Erich to start the car, so Goher had to run after it. Baba enjoyed kidding her in a humorous way for fun. He teased Meheru also about her habit of laughing when telling a joke at the dining table. Baba said, why are you laughing? I haven't understood one word of what you've said. Repeat the whole thing again and don't laugh. To the others, he commented, see how she laughs when she talks? What is this? He, he, he. Baba's sign for Meheru was putting his finger across his forehead. At first, Meheru could not understand why, but later she realized it was because she suffered a head injury in the 52 accident. Sometimes, when Baba was especially exasperated with her, he said, you really are cracked. According to Mani, once Meheru said something to Baba and he gestured with his finger across his forehead. She is crazy. And the gesture for her stuck. The author asked Meheru, did you feel that Baba was less affectionate towards you during the later years? Meheru replied, Baba was taking upon himself so much during the latter years that you thought of his suffering, not of yourself. I asked Ronald the same question. She said that at the beginning, in the 1930s, Baba was very affectionate, but the latter period was a period of obedience. The inward closeness was there, but outwardly it was of obedience. Did Baba's personality change? After the accident in America, Baba was more exacting. You had to be more alert, on your toes. Erich said, Baba's personality changed, and so did his features. Rano agreed, but added, his eyes never changed. He was still as beautiful later on. The author asked Rano whether Baba ever teased her. She replied that if he was in the mood, he teased her to get a rise out of her. The more irritated one would become, the happier Baba was. If you ignored it, he wouldn't tease you. If you bit, then he loved it. Mani observed, Baba used to get to Rano with the comment that she talks through her nose, which he repeated from time to time. Once, when Baba was having lunch, I was sitting next to him, about to read something. Rano was sitting at the opposite end of the table. No one else was there. Baba winked at me and proceeded to say how Rano always talks through her nose. Rano, taking the bait, irritably replied, Baba, I don't talk through my nose. This is how it sounds when someone talks through her nose. And she proceeded to imitate the sound. But Baba wasn't convinced and went on claiming she did, all to grind her down. Of course, I had to agree with Baba. Rano remembered another time when she said something, made some wisecrack, and Baba, with only the finger of his right hand, tapped her chin. It made her head spin for a few minutes. Later he asked, Did I hurt you? Rano said, When Baba was really angry, he would gesture by reaching down to his chapel, meaning, if you say that again, I'll hit you with my shoe. Or he might cross one index finger over another to gesture a crack and point to his forehead to mean, I'll break your skull. Gaily or Gale means mad in Marathi, and sometimes Baba teased Rano that she was half mad. Rano's real name was Madeline, and her brother called her Maddie. Not half mad, Baba, she punned. All mad. Maddie Gailey. Or Gayle, not sure. Sometimes Rano said, I would lie awake, unable to fall asleep, thinking how beautiful Baba was. Other times I would lie awake because Baba had given me the once over for something I did. But you learned Baba didn't want you to harbor thoughts about it. He wanted you to forget it. I learned that no matter how you sliced it, I was always wrong. Mani described how Baba brought them out of their moods or depression. Just when you're feeling so exasperated, Baba would say, "It's not your fault for feeling the way you do. How hard I drive you. Who would put up with it? You don't go to the movies. You don't mingle with the opposite sex. What kind of life do you lead? Anyone would feel fed up." Baba began saying out loud what we were feeling but didn't express. In this way, our frustration was eased, and we found ourselves defending Baba in our mind. "This is nothing. No, Baba, you don't drive us too hard." Baba had switched the situation around in this way. For instance, once Mani had a headache and was feeling terribly out of sorts. It was not so much the headache, but that Baba had not asked how she felt, although he knew she was not feeling well. In the afternoon, Baba told Mani to read to him. She began to read, but she did not look happy. "What's the matter?" Baba asked. "You're not well?" "No, Baba, I've got a headache." Baba looked sympathetic and said, "I've also got a headache. Is yours throbbing?" "Mine is throbbing like anything." Baba's gesture for pain was to make a flicking motion with his index finger and thumb. So Baba said, "Mine is throbbing like anything." Mani said, "No, mine is not exactly throbbing." "Mine is throbbing horribly," Baba stated with a distressed expression. "It feels terrible." Mani was taken in. "Baba's headache is throbbing. Mine is nothing compared to his," she thought, which made her forget her own troubles. She continued reading, and afterwards Baba remarked that she had read well that day. The author asked Mani whether Baba ever teased her or tried to get a rise out of her. She said that he made faces at her, rapidly changing his facial expressions, when she was a child to make her laugh. Later, however, he appeared indifferent from time to time, and that would get to her. She too would try to be indifferent, but he would coax her to come for an embrace. Whenever Mani yawned, she remembered how Baba would say, "What? In front of me you are doing this?" gesturing with his hands open like a crocodile for yawning. So Mani became conscious not to yawn in his presence. Once at the breakfast table, Baba asked Mani to tell Erich something, but to finish her breakfast first. After a moment, he mentioned the urgent nature of the message. Mani stood to leave, but Baba motioned her to sit down and eat. A few moments later, however, he asked, "How much longer do you think it will be before you finish eating?" Mani said, "Baba, I can go now. I don't mind." Nevertheless, Baba said for her to finish eating first. It went on like this until, in the end, Mani was standing one moment, sitting the next, confused about what Baba wanted her to do. She looked up at Baba at one point, and with one hand, he was snapping his fingers to hurry up. And with the other, he was motioning her to sit down and take her time. The same thing happened another day when Baba sent her to type something, quote unquote, very important and urgent, and then kept calling her to the hall, asking whether she had finished. The men, too, were not spared Baba's taunts. The author asked Bao whether he was ever so fed up with Baba's hounding and relentless teasing that he wanted to leave him. Bao answered that there was never any question of leaving Baba because he knew he could not live without him. But many times the thought came that he wanted to die. He knew that suicide was not an option, yet often he could not help thinking that it would be better to die than to continue to displease his Lord and Master. One particular topic irritated Erich the most. Baba teased us time and time again about the love of the women for him. You people are around me, serving me, but the women love me more. You men don't know how to love me as the women do. Baba seemed to place the women above the men. Why should they always have comfortable places to sleep? Why should they have glasses to drink from, and us old, used tin cups? Why should they have first preference, their beddings on top of ours, crushing them when we would travel? These were our whys or wherefores. We never inquired about the whys of metaphysics and spirituality. Why is this and why is that? Just why are the women given more preference than the men? Baba would say in taunts, if you were to love me like the women love, you wouldn't have to bother with such things. You wouldn't suffer or lose your moods. If you were only to love me as the women love, obedience would be so easy. Everything would be so simple. All the time we had to listen about the women from Baba. Baba either needled us about our lack of love for him, or if a difficulty occurred in some task he had set us, he might point out that the difficulty would not have occurred if we had the same love for him that the women had. Once it was said and heard, twice it was said and heard, 3 times, 4 times, a dozen times. He used this little weapon with us. One day I became so exasperated, I blurted out, yes, this has been your constant refrain over the years, but if ever you were to come in a female form, you would taste the love of men. Let there be an advent where you are in female form. Then you will see how we love you. Baba said, alas, it is preordained that the God man always takes a male form, so you won't have that chance. It is not possible. It is so ordained that I will always come in your midst as a man among men. Erich continued, but it was always a thorn in my mind and heart. How the heck do women know how to love him more than us? After he passed away, I put the question to the women when they came and mingled with us. They asked us certain things, such as, what happened with those dirty clothes when Baba fell into the swamp that time? I asked them, what sort of love did you have for him? I repeated what Baba said to us time and again. They said, did he tell you that? He told us the same thing about you all. That is how the God man acts. Meherazad, 28 November to 2nd December 1960, with Bao, Kaka, Francis, Alaba, Meherwan Jesawala, Ben Heyman, Pendu, Erich, Mayerji, Vishnu, and Baidul. Joseph Harb took the picture, evidently. Oh, here's a color picture sideways. Let's see if I can rotate it. Okay. Huh. Baba and Mehera in a beautiful garden. Wow. Looks like Mehera got a little bit dressed up for the picture.
That's a sari made from, we call pattu, or it's a it's a very fancy sari. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's shiny like silk.
Yes, and the border will have metal, either
Uh-huh.
gold or threads of some metal. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, go ahead and here's another picture. I got to turn this one around too. Let's see.
Can you show the sari once again? My wife
Oh,
joined.
oh, sure, yeah.
Nice. Benares sari.
Oh, very nice.
Or some kind of pattu. Beautiful.
They're almost exactly the same height, Mehera and Baba, huh?
Yeah. Hmm? We don't. Season.
Whoops. Oh, it needs to go around a bit more. There. Whoops.
अभी कहाँ पे सर?
So, Guru Prasad in 27 May 1963, Havovi Dadachanji behind Baba. Do you guys want to read?
Yeah. Little bit.
Okay, go ahead, Hari, and uh, a little slower than regular kind of, because it's easier to understand when we read a little bit slower. Thanks.
Yep. In staying with Baba, there were times when the Mandali tried to persuade Baba to agree to something that he seemed reluctant to do. For example, an acquaintance or relative would approach them to request Baba to perform some ceremony, such as thread ceremony, for their child, or to bless a newly married couple, or to name their child. Baba in the later years seemed increasingly disinclined to participate in such things. He had, after all, come to destroy religious rites and rituals. He even commented to the Mandali to destroy. He even commented to the Mandali, "What's the use of these all the ceremonies? I have to do things I don't have to do. I don't wish to do. They think they will be benefited by it. Is not so." In 1966, at Guru Prasad, Mani brought up such a request to Baba. He turned it down and told Mani not to bring up the subject again. Mani had already mentioned to Mehera while at the movies and said, "But I have told Mehera." Baba was displeased and looked as though a heavy weight had been placed around his neck. Although Baba did not want to do it, Mehera too pleaded that person's case, and to please her, Baba agreed. Mehra, however, was not always so amenable to money to or another suggestions. Sometimes, when the person continued to cajole Babas to agree or to do something, he was averse to do things. Mehra told her, "Baba doesn't like it. Why should he do it? Baba is telling you he doesn't like this. Even then, you ask him again. Keep quiet. Don't talk nonsense." Mehra at times tried to coax Baba to do something, but only if it were, in her opinion, for his own well-being, such as to take proper nourishment, to rest, to have bath, and so on. Only in one instance did she ask for something for herself. Baba had told her not to use snuff, though Mehra had always liked it. In Dehradun during the new life, when it was severely cold, Baba had permitted Mani to take snuff. Mehra asked if she too could use it, only for a short while. "I like snuff," she told Baba. "It makes you feel warm. My grandmother used to take it, and she was never known to have a cold. When I see Mani using it, tempts me. I like it very much. May I use it?" Baba reluctantly said yes. Mehra used it for a few days, taking a little snuff before going to bed. What is snuff?
Snuff is a type of tobacco that I think I've never done it, but I think you sniff it,
Mm-hmm.
and um, naturally it's addictive because it's got nicotine in it. Yeah.
Okay.
అది
Mhm.
ముక్కుపొడి.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like snuff, she told Baba. It makes you feel warm. My grandmother used to take it. She was never known to have a cold. Sorry. When I see money using it, tempts like I like it very much. May I use it? Baba reluctantly said yes. Mehra used it for a few days, taking a little snuff before going to bed. One night, however, she got up and went to Mani's bed, saying, "Here, take this," and handed her box of snuff. "I don't want it. It makes me giddy." Eventually, she gave it up entirely, as she had in a way forced Baba to agree. She explained, "I took it few times, but then I stopped because I knew Baba didn't like it, and he had not given permission on his own. I felt a bit guilty and gave it to him."
And gave it up. Yeah.
And gave it up. Okay.
Could you read these two side notes on the right side there? Do you see them?
No, it's only like half of it I can see. It's not
Oh,
full.
okay. I'll read it for us then.
Okay.
The women's evening film outing had continued until one morning when Baba looked in the paper and suggested they see the new Om Prakash comedy, Dus Lakh, meaning a million rupees. Not another movie, Mehera groaned, and this time Baba agreed and stopped sending them. And the next side note says Mani had a tendency to catch colds, and snuff is thought to prevent this. I guess it. Tobacco has a medical use, I suppose. Yeah. Um, Hari, how about if we change to Meher?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for reading. No,
Thanks.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
From the top.
Mehera's foremost pleasure in life was pleasing her beloved, and sacrificing this small personal pleasure was nothing for her. Although giving a small likes is a difficult thing for most people, especially for one living such a secluded and restricted life already. Nevertheless, Mehra willingly, happily gave it up. After Baba dropped his body, Mehra was especially careful not to use snuff, and she gave away another snuff box as she knew Baba did not like it. Once Manitu tried to give up snuff. Baba noticed and at the breakfast table one morning asked her, "Why aren't you taking snuff?" Mani explained that she thought it was becoming too strong a habit. "It's a bad habit," she opined. "I want it every 5 minutes, and it's getting worse. A time will come when I can't do without it, so I think I should stop now." Baba said, "No, take it." Therefore, Mani continued to use it daily for her sinuses. About other things also, Mani confessed, "We could have made it easier for Baba. Baba was going to get something done. We were too preoccupied with the difficulty for us. We can't get away with it, and he won't let go. He will get what he wants. We could have made it easier for him, but all the time we were thinking, why can't we have it easier? Now I realize we should have made it easier for him to make us do what he wants and have what he wants. We did it as he bid, yes, but sometimes it could have been more graciously." And this side note, Baba himself never took snuff. He did not find it at all appealing, Mehera said. At the beginning, we never even thought to ask questions. Baba said, "Do this," and we did it. We did not even think why, what for, how. We just did it. In later years, when we were older and the pattern of Baba's activities was changing, he would push it on us and started asking, "What do you think?" We looked startled. "Whatever you say, Baba." "No, no, but I'm asking you, what do you think?" We started thinking, "Well, Baba, it's like this." Years went by, and before we knew it, we were giving our opinion even when he wasn't asking. "Should it be like this, Baba? You've forgotten about this and such and such." Baba said, "When I tell you to do something and you do it because of my telling, it is I who am doing it." We had to be flexible, go along with whatever he wanted us to do. for his work. It wasn't us doing it, it was always him pulling the strings from behind. We should have been not always struggling against what we would like, swimming upstream. When something happened, instead of chafing against it, if we had only followed along, in brackets, it would have been much smoother sailing. In time, one realizes why it was so. Going along with the current makes it easier for Baba. Even now, Mani concluded, the only sadness for these times is not that it was difficult, but why wasn't it done always a little more graciously? This could have been done for him a little more happily. However, there were times when Mani felt so exasperated with Baba, and yet so intimate, that she spoke with him like a sister. For example, once Khorshad brought another baby to Mehrazad, and the other women, including Mehra, were oohing and eyeing over it. Baba noticed that Mehra seemed taken with the child and informed her that this baby was really her father Jahangir reincarnated. Mani heard this and felt her heart sink. Mani never for a moment believed this was true. It was simply one more thing Baba was saying to please Mehra. As soon as she was alone with Baba, she exclaimed, why did you say that? Do you realize what you have done? Very innocently, Baba looked at her and wondered, what did I do? You told Mehra that that baby was her father. Don't you know what trouble that's going to cause? It will totally disrupt the whole household. Mehra will insist that everything revolve around the baby. We won't be able to do any of our own work. Baba looked very concerned, as if this had never occurred to him. He rubbed his chin, trying to think of what to do now. Finally, he brightened up and told Mani not to worry about it, assuring her that he would take care of everything. To Mani's amazement, Mehra never said another word about the baby after that. It was as if Baba had totally erased his comment from her memory. And there is a picture of Baba and Mani. Oh, sorry, Mehra. But I never seen Mehra with such a sari. It's also a fancy one and a long earring.
Yep.
And below the picture, Guru Prasad, 27th May 1963, from a film by Goher, courtesy MEFA. One more picture, Mehra filming Baba Meherazad, February 1963, and in brackets, Nawaz and Mani in foreground, from a film by Goher. Yeah, I can see Arnavaz and Mani.
And looks
There's a,
like Monty has a camera too, right, Meher?
yeah, Mani has a camera, and I think there's a furry animal by the Baba's feet.
Ah, yeah, looks like it. Hmm.
Pegu, I feel it is Pegu, the cat. I
Pegu, I think, was kind of like mostly white. Was it?
then I'm
What?
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Please continue.
Home movies of all the things we can read our movies now. Wow. On 1st July 1966, Baba and all returned to Mehrazad from their annual visit to Guru Prasad. Just before Baba entered the car to leave. Pegu, the cat, licked his feet, and Baba bent down and stroked it. Few days later in Pune, Pegu was run over and killed by a car. As mentioned, the woman had filmed Baba with the fortunate cat at Guruprasad.
Oh, maybe you were right. Maybe that was Pegu. Huh.
And they filmed Baba at Mirasa several other times that year. All well, as well. Mehra later regretted that they never thought of taking Baba's film with when his hip was all right. Only in later years when walking was difficult, we used to request him, Baba, please walk in the garden. We want to take a picture. Stand here, Baba, near the flower. Baba obliged, though sometimes he was not in the mood. That is asterisk, and the asterisk says, because money was not permitted to film Baba indiscriminately, she was forced to shoot footage of the garden, servants, and pets in order to finish the film cartridges and send them for developing. Back to reading. In winter time, there was newborn goat among the.
Meher, you're covering the mic on your device.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
In winter time, there are newborn goats among the villagers' flocks. One day, the gardener Shankar brought a baby goat from his brother. The woman asked Baba whether they could take a film of him with the goat. Baba sat in the garden and they put the baby goat on his lap and took a few shots. And there's a footnote. Either Goher or Ranu took the film. No one is quite sure which. The goat was so fortunate to be petted, Mehra noted. Later, we took a photograph of the same scene with a different goat. Hedy Mertens had given Mehra a camera. Sometime later, Mehra asked Baba whether she could take his picture, and he agreed. It was morning, and the sun was a bit bright. Baba was losing his hair, and the picture came over exposed. By then, Baba wasn't strong enough to walk for a movie. And in the brackets in the photograph, his face looks drawn and tired. Mehra did everything with so much love, Goher observed. When there were lots of flowers in the garden, she wanted to take a photo of Baba amongst them. She wanted to take movies of Baba. She was always thinking of making Baba look more beautiful. Baba did not mind what he wore, but Mehra was particular. She wanted him to dress well. She decided he would look handsome in a certain color of coat, for instance. She chose a particular shade of blue or turquoise material, or let someone bring it, had the coat stitched, and selected which scarf went with it. Filming Baba was difficult as everyone, especially Mehera, was busy directing. Baba was so patient. Rano commented. He put up with it all. After a while, he held up his palm and said, enough. In the film Memorable Meherazad, footnote, which says, another compilation of home movies, and in brackets, which Mani referred to as Meherazad glimpses, end of brackets, is called Meherazad Memories. So there are two compilations, Meherazad Memories and Memorable Meherabad or Memorable Meherazad. So back to reading. In the film Memorable Meherazad, taken at this time, it looks as if Mehera is guiding the filming. arranging where everyone should stand to compose the best picture. The author asked Rano, did you ever see something and think it should be done one way, whereas Mehera wanted it done another way? Rano, yes. And at those times, Baba would tell me to sew it up, in brackets, be quiet, end of brackets, and not to go against what Mehra wanted. During the film, several times Baba takes Mehra's hand, kisses it, and then holds it to his heart. I mentioned this to Mehra, and she commented, I thought I was in the picture too much. I did not know if Baba wanted me to wait there. Somehow I was feeling self conscious, so I did kiss Baba. Then I moved away, thinking they wanted to take Baba's picture alone. Baba called me again, 3 times. It was very sweet of Baba. He took my hand, held it to his heart, and kissed it. We showed how much Baba loved you. Baba was very sweet. Baba's love was very beautiful. There's no love like Baba's. We don't even love ourselves as much as he loves us. Baba always thought of me first. In every way, we want to be perfect to love him in the perfect way. Still, all the love I had in my heart was all Baba's. I loved him very dearly. Another example of Baba's supreme concern for Mehra occurred one morning at Mehra's Sraad. When the women were in his room, the thin cover over Baba had slipped off, and Mehra draped it over Baba's shoulders, while the others placed their stools around his bed, two on one side, two on the other, to begin massaging him. Since Mehra was a loss to bring her stool, Baba told her, you massage my hand. In this way, she would not feel disappointed or left out. Baba was resting with his eyes closed. He opened them slowly and looked around at everyone. Baba smiled and again closed his eyes to rest. After some time, he again opened them, maybe to show us he wasn't sleeping but only relaxing. Mera guessed Baba had so much awareness of everything. Mera studied Baba's hands as she massaged them. Baba had lovely hands, she noted. His fingers were not very long, yet they were so expressive. Mehra noticed another feature on a different morning with the beloved. After exercising one day, Baba was relaxing, lying on his back. Goher was sitting by his bed on a bench near the wall. I was standing back. I looked at Baba's bare legs. It reminded me of something. Then I thought of Jesus. 2 legs on the cross. Very slim. Baba's legs were so expressive. Exactly like Jesus' legs. At that moment they looked so beautiful. I knew what that Baba was Jesus. Continuing her thoughts on the nature of Baba's love, Mehera stated, Baba's love was all embracing. Of course, I love Baba with all my heart, but I know this love is not enough. It has to be more. God needs to be loved more and more and more. Anyway, I tell Baba All the love that is in my heart is yours, Baba, and I myself am yours. All your lovers are yours. They love you. Baba is happy because we love him. At Amartiri time, for example, so many hearts gather, all loving Baba. It is so beautiful. It makes Baba feel happy because he loved us so dearly, even with all the difficulty he faced. So much he never let anybody even know. He always smiled. So much Baba has sacrificed. It was for each one of us. It wasn't for himself, and that he was doing it. So much love he had. Now it is our time to love him, isn't it? Mehra often remarked that by remembering Baba wholeheartedly at all times during the day, she was trying to give back to him some of the love he had given her. Baba's love is very beautiful, really beautiful. That is why you young ones, in brackets, who came after Baba dropped his body, end of brackets, are drawn to Baba because of his love for you, each one. We must never forget all the sacrifices he has made for us. So many difficulties and discomforts. His silence, his must work, everything. Much he has done. He put so much strain and stress on his body. Mani says for Baba, even to have stayed in the body till he was 75 is a wonder because he has put himself through so many fasts, at times for 10 days, even without water, then partial fast for months. This was all for his work. He never cared for himself. His work was always his work always came first, and his love for us always came first. You all feel drawn to Baba because of your connection with him. Otherwise, there are people who know about Baba, but who are not drawn to him. Because of his love for us, we feel love for him. Now is the time to love him. The author said, I could see in the film that your love for Baba made him so happy. It sustained him through all that work. Mehra smiled. Yes, we gave him as much as we could. We served him as much as we could. We did our best to obey him, which was very difficult because at times we did not know Baba's ways. I will give you one example about a time when Baba wanted some water in brackets, but first let me tell you the background. 5 years. His hip was.
Oh, oh, you covered the mic um,
Uh,
uh,
sorry.
after background.
Yeah, background. Yeah. Baba could not walk properly during the last 5 years. His hip was very painful, so he was carried in a chair. When the garden boys went away, we came. Baba smiled with such a sweet smile, as if he was happy. After all these years of keeping silence, how tired he must be, holding himself back for years and years. It was very difficult, and yet he was smiling. When he wanted to get up, he had to hold my hand so that the hip joint did not have to work so much. Baba was very uncomfortable getting up from the chair. With one hand, he lifted himself for support. With the other, he held my hand and pulled himself up. That is how Baba would get up from the chair. Still, he would be smiling. So, when Baba was smiling, we felt happy that Baba had come. Baba never liked us to put up on a long face or to be unhappy. In this room, Baba was usually seated on the edge of his bed, talking with us. In brackets, on his particular occasion, end of brackets, he said he was thirsty and wanted half a glass of water. It was one of my duties to bring Baba anything to eat or drink. While pouring the water into the glass by mistake, I filled it too full. I gave him three-fourths, a bit full. I thought he would feel thirsty and drink a little bit more. Baba said, I said only half a glass. You brought me so much. I thought you would feel thirsty and like it. Baba said, all right, never mind, don't worry, forget it, don't think about it, and he forgave her. Though not a serious mistake, Mehra continued, it was nonetheless an error. In little things, one must be so attentive, conscientious, and particular. One must always be alert to obey the master literally. Sometimes Baba would be speaking and we would take it lightly. Later, when we thought it over, we realized we should have taken it seriously. It was difficult because sometimes we did not know when Baba was serious. Baba told us the story of Kabir and his son Kamal, and about Ramdas and Kalyan to illustrate how one should obey the master. According to the later story, when the perfect master Ramdas told his disciple Kalyan to light a lantern, saying it was dark, even though it was the middle of the day. Not only did Kalyan obey immediately, but his obedience was so perfect it actually became dark to him. Mehra concluded by saying, Baba wants love from you all. And you give him that. This makes him happy. Next time when Baba comes in physical form, you all must love him so. Pray to him that you should also be with him when he comes again to serve him. To obey him always is very difficult. If you have the courage, Baba is very, very compassionate and kind. When you make a mistake, Baba forgives. But you must try not to make a mistake, of course. It is easy to make a mistake. You must know when Baba is serious, it is very difficult.
Thank you, Meher. We'll stop here. Pick it up next week.